Hello, in this video we show you how to replace the timing belt and water pump kit on Audi Q3 2-liter TDI, the CFFB engine. Replacing the timing belt is the same on other models of cars which have the 2-liter TDI engine with the engine code CFFB. The timing belt on this car is located on the side of the engine. First, we'll start by removing the Next, we'll remove the engine undercover. Next thing, we'll remove the mud guard. Next, we go on top of the car. We'll start removing, we'll start clearing all the parts that are in the way of the timing belt. So we remove the engine cover, we're removing a couple of connectors. We need to remove the fuel filter housing. We don't need to disconnect any hoses, just remove the bolts to get it loose and just put it to the side. And also we need to remove the coolant expansion tank. We don't need to remove any hoses as well, just move it to the side. Next, we remove this metal plate that holds the connector for the differential pressures. And now we've moved everything to the side, the expansion tank, the fuel filter housing. Next, we're gonna remove the right engine mount. Before removing the engine mount, we need to jack the engine. And that's the engine mount out. Next, we need to remove the engine mount support. We can bring the engine up and down. Depends on which bolts we need to remove for the engine mounts. First, to move the mud guards to the side so that it's not in our way to remove the timing belt and the engine mounts. First, we brought the engine down, so now we're gonna remove the bolts that hold the engine mount support on the bottom, and then we'll bring the engine up to remove the bolts that hold the engine mount support on top. That's the engine mount support out. Next, we'll remove the timing belt upper core. Next, we have to remove the serpentine belt. This is the tensioner right there that we see that I'm putting a wrench on. I'm just bringing it clockwise, and the engine and the timing belt and the serpentine belt is getting loose. So now we can remove the serpentine belt. Next, we need to remove the crankshaft pulley. I've already removed the 3 bolts. There is only one left to remove, and take out the crankshaft. And now we have access to the bolts that hold the timing belt lower core. We have to remove the bolts and remove the lower core. And now we have access to the timing belt. Here are the instructions for timing belt. We need to bring the crankshaft to TDC on number 1 cylinder. There is a mark on the crankshaft sprocket, and there is also a mark on the camshaft sprocket, so we need to bring that, and we need to lock the crankshaft and the camshaft, and also the fuel pump sprocket. So now we start turning until the crankshaft is on top dead center on number 1 cylinder. it's on number one cylinder top dead center, so we can put in the locking tool. There is an arrow on the locking tool where it's gonna correspond with the mark on the crankshaft sprocket. Here we can see the arrow corresponding with the mark on the crankshaft sprocket. Next, we will lock the camshaft. There is the camshaft locking tool. We need to push it in until it goes all the way in. Yep, it's all the way in. Next, we have to lock the fuel pump sprocket. And that's the fuel pump sprocket locked as well. Next, we will untighten the 3 bolts that hold the crankshaft sprocket from turning. We just need to get the bolts loose a little bit, and that's it. And on the fuel pump sprocket as well, the 3 bolts we need to get loose. Next, we will loosen the nut on the tightener. After the nut on the tightening pulley is loosened, we need to put in an Allen key on the tightening pulley and bring it anti-clockwise all the way so that the timing belt gets loose. Once the timing belt gets loose, we can start removing the timing belt. And that's the timing belt out. Next, we need to remove the tightening pulley. 2 other parasitic pulleys we need to remove and put new ones on, and also the water pump. We need to remove the water pump and put on a new water pump. The water pump is held by 4 or 5 bolts, which are size 10 socket. After we remove all the bolts on the water pump, we might need to get a pry bar in order to pry the water pump out, because it might be stuck. And the water pump is out. Now make sure you clean the space where the water pump is gonna lie, and clean it maybe with sandpaper, and then you can put on the new water pump. You should lubricate the O-ring on the water pump so that it goes in smooth. And now we can tighten the water. Next, we'll remove the 2 parasitic pulleys and put on new pulleys. Next we need to remove those, I don't know what they're called, bolts or stud, I don't know what it is exactly. What's the name of it? We put two nuts on and we tighten them against each other and we start turning it to remove it, and then we do the opposite, start tightening it to tighten it after to tighten the new. And now we put the small pulley. Next we're gonna replace the big parasitic. Make sure you tighten everything up to specs. And this is the third pulley that we need to next to put the tightening pulley on. And after we put everything, we start putting on the timing. The last small parasitic pulley that's on top, we're gonna put it after we've put on the timing belt, so that otherwise it's very hard to put on the timing belt. Once everything, all the pulleys are put on and tightened, next we'll get this pulley holder, so that we'll bring the camshaft pulley to the left, so that the timing belt gets tightened between the fuel pump and the camshaft, and this way we'll tighten the bolts on the camshaft so that it doesn't turn anymore back, and this way the timing belt will stay tight between the camshaft and the fuel. Next we'll tighten the 3 bolts on the fuel pump sprocket. And now we can tighten the timing belt using the tightening pulley. There is we use Allen key to bring it into exact position where it's marked, where the position is marked, and we can tighten the nut on the tightening. After we tightened the tightening pulley, check everywhere if the timing belt is tight, and you can remove all the locking tools and start turning the crankshaft. So we'll turn the crankshaft 2 rotations so that the camshaft and the crankshaft go to top dead center on number 1 cylinder again, and we will insert the locking tools again to see if everything is okay. If we insert the locking tools normally, then that means everything is okay. So we're done. We can start assembling everything back in the reverse. Thank you for watching.